We're all good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I'm already standing up.
I wonder what the hell you were doing.
You do want to go on the road, don't you?
She's headed for the door.
That's okay.
He's got to go here.
You said, let's go, I'm up.
To call the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Loretta, you'd see eager, lead us in the pledge.
Oh, my goodness. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, please remain standing for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here.
Commissioner Boyd?
Here.
Row officer reports and comments. We have no rows with us today. Public comments. Do we have any member of the public wishing to make comment? Okay, fiscal and contractual. We have no repository properties, no advertising bids or proposals, no receipt of bids or proposals. We do have one warrant register dated January 23rd, 2023. I'll give my colleagues a minute to check that over, and then I'll take a motion to accept and file the warrant register.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion to second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Minutes from Tuesday, January 17th, 2022. I'll give my colleagues a minute to check those over and take a motion to approve the minutes. I'm going to vote on them because I'm just going to vote on them, but I will note that I wasn't here last week. I was attending the inauguration.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have two presentations of written communications, both in Union Township. One relates to AMG Titanium Alloys and Coatings LLC, a state-only operating renewal permit. And one is a Penn Power notification of planned transmission line work on Old Youngstown Road. Unless anyone has any questions or comments on those, I'll take a motion to accept and file.
So moved.
The reason, I apologize. The only reason I'm hesitating, I don't recall seeing the second one, but my name's on there. So obviously it was forwarded to me. So just bear with me 1 second.
No, you're fine.
I'll second.
Thank you. A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Sorry, I was going to ask you. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Staff reports. We have a member of staff with us today that has anything to report about beyond what's already on the agenda. Seeing none, commissioner reports and comments. I'm on deck first today. I do have some comments relating to broadband, but I figure it's probably more appropriate to wait until we approve our first ARP grant allocations to include, kind of pack them into the official broadband allocation located there. Loretta.
I will just say, since, yes, I wanted to start the meeting ahead of time, that I will be meeting this afternoon for CCAP for our annual, our first of the year board meeting that we have, and also that we will be at the Capitol meeting with legislators and also announcing our legislative priorities through CCAP. So I will be on the road later this afternoon for that.
Safe travels to you.
Thank you.
Dan.
No, I have nothing today. Thank you.
All right. Al, you picked a good one to attend. We're moving fast.
How about that?
New resolutions. First and foremost, we have our Public Safety Director, Chad Strobel, resolution to enter agreement with Thomas Shelby and Company. Chad, what do we have going on here? We'll make this resolution 2023-29.
29.
We have two options. Currently, we have 7 chairs in dispatch. They're, any chair we get is going to be quite expensive. They're 24-hour chairs. They're built a little bit heavier. So our two options are, one, to go with this Thomas Shelby Company. As the warranty expires, we're going to have to start paying all the prices for repairs of the current chairs we have. Just an idea, the gas cylinders for racing are about $400 a piece. The armrests are about $200 a piece. So one option is to go with Thomas Shelby, be a lease for 3 chairs, fully warranted. Anything happens to them, they send us a new chair, we send them the old one back. They come in every year and swap out the chairs, give us 2 similar condition, rebuilt, newer chairs, or 3 newer chairs to use each year. And over 3 years, it's approximately $10,000. Price $10,584. Our second option would be to start now replacing the current chairs we have, which are the Iron Horse chairs. The last price we got last year was $1,900 a piece at the state contract government rate, with an increase probably between $2,000 and $2,200 a piece to start replacing them in a sequence. Those would come with a 5-year warranty on the suspension parts, the gas cylinder, the wheels, the base, a 3-year warranty on some of the heavier wear parts, armrests, seat pads, and padding on the back. Then no warranty on the upholstery or anything else. There's 2 options. I'm open either way. This contract, 3-year contract with Thomas Shelby would be for 3 chairs for $10,584, or we could start to replace with the Iron Horse chairs a couple of years, so we're not faced with this same thing in 5 years when we can replace all of them or start replacing all of them.
Do you, I mean, I have the Shelby resolution in front of me. Do you have a preference?
I do not, no. It's, either one will work for us.
How many chairs how many of the Iron Horse need replaced? You said it's called $2,000 a pop.
Right now, all of them are out of warranty, so we're gonna be taking the cost for repairs on all of them.
Okay.
Actually, a couple that will be expired in 2 months.
So it'd be more costly to go with that option relative to the Shelby option.
Correct, yeah.
I'm good with
We're
the
gonna
Shelby
have to
option.
start, pay it piece by
Okay.
piece.
If you're indifferent, I'm good
That's-
with what the cheapest.
Yeah.
Okay,
Any questions or comments for the director?
No, I'm fine. It'd be good.
you know what you need, so that's good.
Appreciate it.
All right, we'll make this 29. I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second,
Motion second, any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes,
Commissioner Vogler?
yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. I'll note 911 is covered out of telecommunication funds passed through by the state.
Thank you.
Have a safe
All right.
trip.
yes, thank you,
Thanks, Chad.
thank you.
If I hear anything else, I'll.
Thanks for those
I'll let you guys
updates,
know.
yes, absolutely.
Up next, 30, we are approving a CBA with Lawrence County Detectives Association. Of the negotiations that I've taken part in, this was the most amicable through and through. The detectives got a little bit of what they wanted. We got a little bit of what we wanted, which tells you it was probably a decent negotiation. And so this approves that contract through the end of 2025. I don't have a copy of the contract sitting in front of me, but if my recollection serves, it's 3%, 2.5%, 2.5% on salary increases, cost of living increases, and a 1% increase year over year on healthcare with the same cap that we use for AFSCME. And there's some other provisions included in there that we worked out, but obviously for the cost of the county, those are always the big 2 items.
Absolutely.
And again, I don't remember exactly what the
Morgan, I have the contract.
oh, beautiful. Oh, yeah, if you could give me that. Thank you. I'll tell you exactly what. I'm pretty sure it's 3, 2.5, 2.5. If you give me 1 second. And again, there are numerous other provisions in here, but yep, 3, 2.5, 2.5. And then,
What was their insurance to start off with, just out of curiosity there?
I won't say they were right now 3.
Okay,
We're going up to 5, 6, 7. 24 is going to be 5. Actually, we changed that. That's just 2024, 1/1/2024. So little scrivener's error there. But in 2023, it'll be 5%. 2024, it'll be 6%. 2025, it'll be 7%, and that includes vision and dental. So they're not paying 0% for vision and dental
it's
anymore.
included,
That's
okay.
included in that. And again, there are some caps on that to make sure that
Right,
they don't see dramatic spikes. Again, there's actually quite a few other provisions in there. A couple have significant monetary value, others don't, but those are the 2 big ones. With that done, we will be able to move on to the sheriffs. We're going to basically present them with the same contract. There'll be some minor modifications to it, but I see no reason that the sheriff and detective should deviate too much from each other in terms of contract. Yeah, any questions or comments on the CDI? Okay, we'll make that 30. I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. I'll note that this is our smallest union.
What do they have?
I think
5?
there's 7 or 8
Oh,
now.
okay,
Yeah, I forget because the Tony Costa was moved out, so that's why I'm.
okay.
Up next, we have 31. And this is our first significant allocation of restricted American Rescue Plan Act funding. It totals the total allocation to 6 different entities, totals $1,124,305. Again, this is from the restricted allocation. And we are required by federal law to appropriate this funding by the end of next year and expend it by the end of 2026. So I'll go through each individual project. And if you want to add something at the end of each project, I'll open it up. I just want to get a little descriptor.
Sure.
First and foremost, we're awarding Lawrence County Community Action Partnership $276,105 for our Human Services Family Preservation Program. This is a program, a novel program that we're working on building out at Frumill campus right now, the old YDC. And the purpose of the program is to provide the county with housing options for at-risk families for temporary housing, specifically those families who might otherwise be separated as part of the CYS activities. This provides us an option to keep families together. It also is estimated to significantly reduce the costs at CYS because, well, the total program cost, once it gets, this is the capital funding start program up. The total program cost on an annualized basis is about $150,000 to run the program. If we're able to divert 3 to 4 CYS placements annually, it more than pays for itself. And so we're anticipating an upfront capital investment of no money from the general fund. And so all the money for the capital investments coming from either the American Rescue Plan, state funds, or the last tranche will come from either American Rescue Plan or opioid fund. We haven't determined that yet. And the $150,000, the majority of that will also come from the state, 80% of it to be specific. And so again, we're anticipating that this program will not only provide a critical gap service for our residents, but also save a significant amount of tax dollars as we work to divert kids away from placement and away from family separation and try to keep more families together. So I will turn it over to my colleagues if either one of them has any comments on that program.
Yeah.
Nope. Loretta, I know you usually are pointing on human services. I'm not very good at explaining
you
it.
did very well. No, it's definitely going to be a cost savings with the ultimate goal being keeping families unified, keeping families together as opposed to removing children from their home environment. Yes.
Okay, up next, we have $250,000 to Westminster College to allow them to expand their nursing program, specifically with a high fidelity nursing simulation lab. This will enable Westminster College to train more nurses and enhance the training offerings they provide to their nurses. It'll allow for a greater level of training for those nurses who we anticipate will go to local hospitals for employment, whether that be UPMC Jameson or UPMC Horizon, or other local doctors' offices. And so we're allocating $250,000 to Westminster for that. Any comments from my colleagues? Mahoning Township, we are allocating $250,000 to for sewage plant capital improvements. The Mahoning Township sewage plant has been a saga.
Really?
A saga. There is a prime tract of land out in Mahoning Township that the county, the township, development partners have attempted to develop now on numerous occasions. And every time that the county or development partner has gone to Mahoning Township has answered the call. They have done everything asked of them, from building out a large sewage operation. They've been very amicable to tax increment financing where necessary, to alert where necessary to attract land to that development. They've done everything right, and they have not seen results in that, in that developable area through no fault of their own. We've tried on numerous occasions to get that developed. The sewage plant is far too big for what's currently being utilized, which in turn causes significant problems with sewage processing. And so we're allocating $250,000 of our Restricted American Rescue Plan Act funding to right a wrong that Mahoning Township's been experiencing now for the better part of, I don't know when that plant came online. It's been at least 8 years.
At least.
Okay,
Um,
thought it was maybe a bit longer.
I think it was longer
Yeah.
too, but that's it. Any questions, comments, anybody on that? Michael Baker, we've already allocated this, but this is just to reemphasize and formally approve, $244,750 for a broadband development plan. I'll note that yesterday, the Board of Commissioners, Joe Vanasco, Amy McKinney, Alan Miller, met with representatives from Michael Baker for our first broadband executive committee meeting. I think that's what we decided to call that
Yes,
gathering
yes.
yesterday. It was I thought a really positive meeting. We'll be looking to put together an advisory board with local community leaders. Al's been volunteered for it if he'd be willing to accept. We just saw Chad on the public safety
Yeah,
side has been
right.
volunteered for it. Or maybe more so that you voluntold for it.
I was gonna, a little bit of voluntolding.
So we'll be putting that group together shortly. They're also planning on hosting a number of pop-up meetings for community residents
Yes.
to come in. We'll be putting forward a survey where residents can submit areas of problem, where areas might need enhanced broadband coverage. So if the process has started. I'm really looking forward to diving into it. We set up bi-weekly status updates with Director McKinney's office, with our planning department. But this formally allocates that broadband deployment funding for the plan. I'll also note that Jeremy Jurek, who is the National Director of Broadband Services for Michael Baker, he was here yesterday, and he noted that we'll be able to get this plan finished up and in good order by the time broadband funding comes down from the Pennsylvania Broadband Development Authority. So we are on track to be able to tap into those funds.
And that's a good thing.
Yes.
That's definitely a good thing. And of course, like you said, we will ask the community that there will be a lot of opportunities for community involvement, for you to have your voice heard. We don't know all of the areas at this point in time where there is limited service or no service. So that is why this process is happening, to make sure that we have the best maps available. We have done the best research that we can do to put us in line when that funding does come down, because it is coming, and we do want to be in the best possible position that we can be in to get the monies that we need to make all of Lawrence County accessible. Yes.
Absolutely. I'll also note, because I think this is a critical component of it, the program of work does include 2 early action projects,
Yes.
where the goal is to bring 250 to 500 properties online with high-speed broadband access by the end of 2024. So it's not just a plan and then action to happen later. It's a plan that specifically includes
Yes.
action items.
Yes. Very good.
Up next, we have $60,000 being awarded to the New Wilmington Economic Development Corporation for a New Wilmington Borough facade improvement plan. Mayor Babb approached the Board of Commissioners, I want to say maybe 2-3 months ago, with this request for American Rescue Plan funding. EDCOM, which is the short for Economic Development Corporation, up in New Wilmington, has done a tremendous job of raising funding for this facade improvement program. I want to say, if I'm forgetting one of the entities who donated, please chime in. $60,000 from the Preston family, $60,000 from Westminster College, $60,000 from New Wilmington Borough, now $60,000 from Lawrence County.
Right.
And then they've raised additional dollars through other sources. I know Lindy Paving gave some money. I know some private donors additionally gave some money. And so they've built out a real nice capital stack to go in and make some significant facade improvements to the borough, which so desperately needs it. And we're certainly happy to help with that endeavor.
Right.
Questions, comments? Elwood City Borough. Elwood City Borough Facade Improvement Program, we're giving $25,000 to. And the reason for the differential in money is they're two different programs. So New Wilmington has raised all of their funding through non-state related sources, through donations of private individuals, institutions, governments, et cetera. Elwood City has raised their money through a state allocation, so we're covering half the cost of the local match for that state allocation. So in other words, we're putting in $25,000, Elwood City's putting in $25,000, and then the state has already agreed and has already approved a match of $50,000. So total funding of $100,000. I believe the way the program's structured, the businesses will then have to contribute 50%. So the total capital stack for Elwood's facade improvements is $200,000. New Wilmington's raised a little bit more money, but again, most of that, all of it comes from non-state actors. Questions, comments on the Elwood City program? And the last, this is sort of an internal one, is to the Lawrence County Department of Information Technology for cybersecurity improvements, $18,450. You know, one of the things that one of the areas of the operation that we've put priority on over the last couple of years is shoring up our cybersecurity defenses. And so this adds to those efforts. You know, we don't want a scenario where a hacker comes in and shuts down election systems 2 days before an election, and then forces us to pay a significant ransom in order to bring those systems back online. You know, we don't want a scenario like what we've seen in other counties, other cities. Luzerne County, I think, had a cyber attack. Atlanta had a major cyber attack. And so this continues to improve our cybersecurity efforts here at the county to make sure that our systems are secure, our residents' data is secure, and the county is able to function. So those are our 6 projects that we have for this first tranche of ARPA funding. Looking forward to releasing future tranches soon. And certainly glad that we're able to deploy this funding into our community where it belongs. So with that, any further questions or comments on our American Rescue Plan applications?
I have none.
I just note a couple things. COVID has changed so much for everybody, including county government. And you may recall that under the prior federal administration, we received what were known as CARES dollars. And they had some restrictions to them, and they also had very strict deadlines. We had to get that money out in a
Right.
very short period of time.
Mhm.
The current administration implemented this program, the ARPA program, and fortunately, they do allow a little more flexibility and a good deal more time. As Commissioner Boyd noted, we have until the end of 2024 to determine the use of these dollars, and the actual rollout can even go as far as 2026. That's helpful. You never know what might arise a year from now, and I think it's important that we be prudent to make sure that there's still money in the pot a year from now in case matters arise that we might need to address. The other thing I'll note, we've worked very closely with our auditing firm. They have folks on their staff who have studied the rules and regulations very, very carefully. And anytime we have an ARPA question as to what can we do, what can we not do, what is eligible, what is not eligible, we run it past them. And they make sure that what we're doing is in fact in accord with the rules and regulations. So I can assure everybody that everything that was just noted here has been given a stamp of approval by our auditors as well. And they have legal folks on their staff as well. So we've met the guidelines. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good point.
I will take a motion to approve 31.
So moved.
Second. Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, this is a big money meeting today. Up next.
Which is a good thing.
Well, none of
Which
it's,
is a very good thing.
none of it's coming from the general. fund.
Right. This
Not
is
a
very
dollar.
good.
We haven't spent $1 so far out of the general fund. And we've spent however many millions, and we're about to spend another 800,000, again, not out of the general fund. Resolution 2023-32, this approves numerous transportation-related projects, allocations to our municipalities for transportation-related projects. In total, this resolution approves 38 paving projects, 3 culvert replacements, 1 stormwater reclamation project, and 5 capital purchases in 16 of our municipalities. And you can see breakdown both on the resolution, and I pulled together just a basic press release. This is good. Debbie will have it. And so the funding for this comes, $400,000 is coming from our state liquid fuels allocation, and then $400,000 is coming from our vehicle registration fee fund. In effect, this actually drains the vehicle registration fee fund. As we stated when we initially approved that fund, all monies will be going to municipal
Yes.
transportation projects. And so far, all monies have gone
Yes.
to municipal transportation projects. Actually, that fund is generating more than liquid fuels, significantly more. And so again, we're certainly glad to be in a position to fund our municipalities, to provide $800,000 in paving and transportation related grants. And I'll note that in total, this $800,000 allows for $3,287,143.09 in total countywide transportation investment. And so, again, our residents over and over again, we hear whenever we go out in public, pave the road. I heard it the other day. I was out of a restaurant the other night, and I had somebody come up to me and say,
Right.
"What are you guys doing about the roads?" And
This is your answer.
and this is the, and I always preface it by saying, and I know that Dan's going to reiterate this as soon as I'm done talking. I always preface it by saying, the county does not own any roads.
No.
We own 27 bridges, and we maintain each of those bridges at a high level of maintenance.
Yes.
All of our bridges are in good shape right now. Our engineers have relayed that much
Yes.
to us. And the county does not own any roads.
No.
And so we're appropriating this money to the municipalities to help them cover their road costs. But again, I'll note that if you have a problem with your roads, you don't come to us.
No.
You gotta go see Al. You gotta go see Mayor or Administrator Fry.
Yes.
You gotta go see Elder Vogel if it's a state road.
Sure.
But no, we're certainly happy to help our municipalities.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Now I don't have to say.
Any questions,
I
comments?
love when we have our Dan quotes.
Yeah.
Those are things, no, you make that easier for us. I remember first coming in saying, we own no roads, but there's 27 municipalities and we own 27 bridges. I remember those two together.
I actually, whenever the person approached me at the restaurant, I actually said, "Look, I'm gonna pull a Vogler on you. I'm gonna explain how this works."
That's it.
I missed the
That
trivia.
is it.
Huh?
I missed the trivia.
The good old Bill.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
resurrect that.
All right.
But
It's time, time for trivia.
any questions, comments on this?
Happy to do what we can do to assist the municipalities with getting their roads fixed up. I know it's a very costly proposition, and I know that there's always a road or 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 that need repaired for a variety of different reasons. So we're happy to help them. And they, just as a note, they propose the projects to us. They submit their plans to us, and through our process, they get approved, and then we delegate the money to them from the 2 funds that were mentioned.
And that's actually critical too.
Yes.
Every municipality
Yes.
that applied for funding is receiving at
Yes.
least
At
one
least
grant.
one, yes.
And so what we did, the process, we allowed for up to 2 applications. And whichever application the municipality submitted first, we went through all of those,
Yes,
appropriated that or allocated that funding, and then we went back in the second application, depending on when those applications were submitted, we worked our way through the second round of funding
Yes.
until we ran out of funding. And so this year, although we actually had more in requests than what we had to allocate. Last year, we had more to allocate than we had in requests. And so I'm glad that this program is
Yes.
catching on.
yes,
I think it's worth noting too that a couple things. We do, as Loretta noted, we have 27 municipalities. Although SNPJ only has, the borough has one road, public road going through its boundaries. And I believe North Beaver Township maintains that road. I'm almost certain of that. So excluding SNPJ borough, we'll say there are 26 municipalities that would have been eligible for this. Curiously, 10 of them did not apply.
right,
As Mr. Boyd noted, this affects 16 municipalities throughout the county, but there were 10 from whom we did not hear. And maybe next year, if we're able to replicate this, they'll be able to
Yes.
submit. I mean, we did establish a deadline. I think we gave them about 6 weeks, roughly.
I
Longer.
think that longer
Is it a
than
little
that,
bit
I
longer
believe
than that?
Amy said the notice went out in October.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Okay,
it
so
was
they
a
had, and
much
it ran
longer
until
period
what,
of
December
time.
31?
Yes.
Mhm.
I stand
Yes,
corrected.
yes.
We gave them quite a bit of time. Since you asked for trivia, the other day I was researching something, and this goes back to the mid-1960s, the Newcastle News. And there was a small article about the county commissioners implementing a liquid fuel distribution to a couple of townships in the county. So what we're doing is certainly not new. I mean, for decades, the county has been doing this. During my tenure, there have been many years when we've been able to do it. There have been some years
Okay,
when the needs of our county bridges have taken up so much money that we've not been able to do this. But this was a good year for us. So, but boy, I certainly hope that during the next go around that
Right.
we'll hear from all 26. Thank you.
Absolutely. And this is the single largest general allocation of county transportation funding that's been made to municipalities in Lawrence County history. Which is, again,
we'll have to be part of that,
certainly positive.
yes, absolutely.
So I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes,
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 33, this is clerical. This just sets the IRS mileage rate. I think we really need any more of an explanation for that. Actually, this is nice because it means we're gonna have to stop setting the rate. It'll just
Yes.
automatically change when the IRS changes the
and
reimbursement
that's a
rate.
good thing, yeah,
So 33, I'll take a motion.
so moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes,
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. This is our Savin program, 34, which we do every year. Every other year, I think is the grant run through. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, this relates to victim services, the SAP, because I think I remember
Right.
Kate Fee Bard
Yes.
coming in last time.
You're right.
yes,
Yeah, right there, the victim notification as well as provide additional services to county residents. And so all we're doing is renewing this grant for the duration of 2023. Questions, comments? I'll take a motion.
so moved.
I'll second, and yeah, and of course, Kate retired, and I always looked forward, you're right, she would come here every
Yeah.
year. And she was very passionate about this program.
Mhm.
Does anybody know who?
I
the
do,
staff
and my mind just
took
went
over,
blank. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, Chrissy Monaghan.
In the DA's office?
No, DA's off. No, this, the attorney, the assistant DA.
Oh, it's
It's not Emily, is it?
no, is it Kyla? No, it's Deanna.
Thank you.
Okay, good, okay, thank you.
I could see her face right in front, and I could not think of her name. Thank you.
Deanna.
We'll do this.
I knew who it wasn't.
Yeah, it's not Billy.
Well, I guess in honor of Kate Fee Baird, I'll second it.
Sounds good. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or not, question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes,
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Up next, we have a budget amendment What this does is this allocates the interest revenue coming off of one of our accounts to a couple different points in the county budget. That zero should be locked off, that third zero.
Thank you.
So yeah, lop off that, it should read the revenue should be $43,897, but not that extra zero.
Gotcha.
A little scrivener's error there. And so, yeah, that's all that's doing. Any questions on that? I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 36, this is the budget amendment for the ARPA allocations that we just approved. So we first approved the allocation, saying we're gonna spend the money on this. What this does is this moves the money around in the budget to allow the controller's office to expend it.
Okay.
Questions, comments on that? And that'll be 36.
I'm fine.
All right, take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. This reads 38. It should read 37, I believe, unless I
No.
screwed something up somewhere.
37.
37. And again, this is providing for removing some money. We got to pay for our access bill. Originally, I was planning on leaving a contingent down to the mines to clear out some of that space. We're still planning on doing that. We just can't do it with a busload of staff. We have to do it sort of one department at a time. And so
Yes.
we're working on organizing that. But until such time as we do that, we have to pay the access bill.
Right.
Although one of the easiest ways maybe to get rid of all those files is to not pay the access bill.
We'll throw them out, right?
Yeah.
We'll just be there to pick them up.
Absolutely, yeah, get to the dumpster, yeah. Might be the easiest way to skin that cat. But I'll take a resolution on 37, or a motion on 37.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second, any further discussion, hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, or Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Up next, we have some administrative transfers. This is just for the record how picky we are with the money. This is an $8 transfer. This is an $8 transfer, moving from a human resources contingency account to association dues due to a small increase, an $8 increase in the amount of association dues for, I assume, a shirt.
We could have taken up a collection, $1 from
Honestly,
each of us,
for every
and
one of us, right?
I'd have thrown in $2 and we'd have covered it.
Voter services contingency, this is funds for UPS battery backup and monitor. They're just moving it from their contingency into their security and training. And I believe this is through the our grant. I don't believe this is a general.
That was gonna be my question, and I
Yes.
hope you're right.
Because, yeah, we don't have a line item in the normal budget, security and transportation.
Right.
That's a grant.
That's good.
CCAP dues increased over what was budgeted by about $6,000, so we're moving some money from commissioner contingency into association dues.
You can blame Loretta and me for that.
Yeah, yes.
That's blowing the budget up.
I know.
Blowing the budget up. No, we're happy to do it. All right, I will take a motion for administrative transfers, those administrative transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second, any further discussion, hearing none. Question on the motion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. Next commissioners meeting will be held on Tuesday, January 31st, 2023 at 10 a.m. in the commissioners meeting room. I believe that's about it in terms of announcements. Let's see if you have anything.
I don't think there's anything else. I mean,
I neglected something during the commissioner reports. I forgot to note that last Friday, I was very honored to attend the installation ceremony for Chief Justice Deborah Todd. The ceremony was held in Pittsburgh, and there were about 600 people at the William Penn Hotel ballroom. And there were a good number of folks from Elwood City, which of course is her hometown. There were a number of attorneys from Lawrence County there. Judge Motto, along with, there had to be at least 150 judges, all in their black robes, who all sat together. Judge Motto and District Judge Cartwright were both in attendance. The governor was there, the lieutenant governor was there, former Governor Corbett was there. It was a very, very good day for Justice Todd and a good day for Lawrence County. Elwood City was noted throughout the program. The program ran about 2 hours. There were a lot of speakers, but a lot of them made reference to the fact that she grew up in Elwood City. She's the daughter of a steel worker, and it was just a very, very nice gathering, and very honored to be part of it. So I forgot to mention that at the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you for representing us. And I think Judge Moore went down with you, didn't he?
No, we wrote,
Drove
I got to sit next to his wife,
Oh,
but,
okay, yeah.
which is always a
And I
pleasure.
didn't make it, unfortunately. I really feel bad about that, yeah.
I went to Florida. I opted out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Public comments, any additional comments from the public? Seeing none, unless there's any further business to discuss, I will adjourn the meeting.
Okay.
We're gonna turn the live stream off.
I have your packet, Debbie,
Yeah, I got it.
and no 11 o'clock.
No, she had to go walk through somewhere else.
We'll be good with.
I had